Good evening. This is the March 8th, 2023 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals for the town of Newcastle.
First on our agenda is an extension request on the Perlman application. They're asking for a 6-month extension. They haven't got a building permit yet, and they're still working on wetland approvals.
I'm sorry, it is the first request.
First extension request, 6 months.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'll move to grant the extension, 6 months.
I second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
In favor?
Tony Giardina,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Next, Covey and Vandelson, 248 Quaker Street.
Tony, not to cut you off, just for the record, we have a board member appearing virtually today. Michael Nolan is appearing virtually, just for the record.
Hello, board. Tim Leonard, live and in person, first time in 3 years. It's good to see you all, not on a screen. Here tonight to ask for front yard variances so we can add a second floor to an existing like 1.5-story house. And we've already gone to ARB, we got their approval, we've gone to ERB because we're right behind the duck pond over there. And if Jackie wants to pull up the site plan, I'll just run you through what we're asking to do. Most of this house already sits within the front yard setback. It's obviously a kind of a flag lot off of Quaker. It's a long driveway on the right-hand side of the property. One more. Stop. So right there, you can see all the way on the left-hand side is the existing second floor, which mostly is sloped ceilings. There's a bathroom there, but it's extremely difficult to use. And we're looking to gain space on that floor because there is no basement in this house. The backyard consists of a septic system and the front yard consists of a pond and there's a driveway. So we're squeezed for space. We have a growing family here. And so what we did is we raised up, the portion of the second floor that's already there to full height. And we also added over on the left-hand side of the house is a bedroom over there. So when you see the site plan, it's the pink area that is we're asking the variance for. There's also a little roof for a front porch. There's currently no covering at the front door. So the area that's in yellow on there, if you can see it, that's the front porch we also need a variance for. There'll be no expansion of the footprint of the house itself other than the front porch roof, which is a minimal impact on anything. So we're only asking to go up from where we are. We actually did keep, if you want to scroll down to the front elevation, Jackie. The ARB liked this elevation. This is basically the front of the house, even though it doesn't face Quaker over on the right-hand side. We dropped knee walls down to keep the roof line as low as we could and still keep some nice architectural character. And you see the little metal roof that we have that's consisting of front porch, and it's just a single open column that's going to hold that up. That's what we need. Asking for.
What space is there currently on the second floor?
Well, you could call it a room. It's just an open room right now, and a bathroom, but the ceilings literally are sloping everywhere. And I think that addition was put on in the 80s. I think we had the old plans. It was from the 80s, and I don't know why on earth they built something brand new so low, but they did. There's almost no windows in it. It's not a great space to try and live in.
To reiterate, you're not changing the footprint,
Not changing the footprint.
and that porch exists there now?
Well, there's like a stoop there for it now, but the roof does not exist, and that's the part we're adding. That's the part that actually kicked us to go to ERB for the minimal amount that it is, but they didn't have any issues with it.
Okay.
And it'll protect the front door. That's the main way into the house from the driveway. So it'll be, rain and snow, they'll be covered.
And there's no septic work required for this job?
No, we actually got Board of Health approval already for the work that we're doing here.
Carrie, is there anyone online to speak to the matter?
No one has their hands raised.
Well,
Okay. I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
second,
Chairman Ken Cooper,
In favor?
Tony Giardina,
aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
I'll make a motion. I move that the Covey Vandelson application for a front yard variance of 17 feet and a front yard variance of 30 feet. The first for a porch, the second, or portico, the second for the second floor addition, be approved for the following reasons. There will be no expansion of the footprint of the house. There are severe limitations on doing any work at the house because of pond and septic and a driveway. This is pre-existing non-conforming site. The applicant has already gotten ARB approval. Certainly the expansion will allow for greater use of the building. There will be no undesirable change in character of the neighborhood. Benefit cannot be sought through other means. The requested variances are in some cases substantial, but understandably, given what I've said previously, there'll be no adverse impact on physical environment. The alleged difficulty was not self-created. There were no neighbors who spoke in opposition.
In fact, we have a neighbor, the neighbor to the left is sent a note that they had no opposition. I forgot to mention that, but it was in our packet.
Okay. So we do have one neighbor who has spoken positively about the application. You will have 6 months to start and 1 year to complete. And are you putting in a foundation for the, no, portico? No. You need an as-built?
No, sir.
No, okay. For these reasons, we should approve.
I'll second it,
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina,
aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Thank you. I see we have a new member. Welcome aboard.
Next is Salazar. Before we start this hearing, on advice of counsel, I'll be recusing myself for this.
You have to read?
Technically, yes, especially the small room like this.
Okay.
I know you're gonna miss me, but I'll be back.
Good evening, Alan Pilch. I'm here at the webinar. Well, first, I think I'll go over what the project entails. I'm representing Eber Salazar at 1 Kathleen Lane. Perhaps I might be able to share the screen and just sort of review it because I know we have a new member of the board. Could I share? Is that visible on your screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, very good. So this property, which is located at 1 Kathleen Lane, which is the intersection of Bedford Road and Kathleen Lane. Historically, what happened was there was an existing paved driveway which accessed the house, which is in the center portion of the lot. And there was a gravel parking area located here, which was too close to the front lot line. So that's a violation. So what we had done was develop a plan to relocate the edge of the pavement to 25 feet as required in the zone because the setback from the front lot line had to be no more than, since the front yard setback's 50 feet, parking area is required to be 25 feet from the front lot line. and that's what was shown on the plan. And I'll say, unfortunately, that's not what happened. In order to construct this parking area and modify it, this area in the front lot, the corner of the pavement is 22.9 feet away from the front lot line. So that is why we are requesting that the board grant a variance of 2.1 feet from the parking area. I'll also just point out that this sort of shows what has been constructed. This was taken last kind of late fall. As you can see, there's a substantial evergreen vegetation along the perimeter. We're actually looking at it from.
Alan, we're not seeing that.
You're not at all?
We were seeing the survey.
Now we can.
Now we can.
Okay. I tried to show a picture. Did this not show up?
No.
No photos.
He might be on a bit of a delay.
Okay. Well, I'll just say at any rate, I don't know quite why it isn't, but that being said, there is a line. Let me just go away from this plan then. There is a line of vegetation along the perimeter here, which effectively there's a stone wall along Bedford Road, and there's a line of vegetation along the street, which effectively screens the constructed parking area from the street. And at the last meeting, we were requested to submit cost estimates for the work to be performed. This would be the work to be performed, which would involve cutting the pavement, removing portion of the stone curb, resetting the curbing, doing any patching that's necessary, and adjusting the sprinkler heads, which are here. And the estimates, which we submitted this week, were $5,950 to do the adjustments to the curbing and the pavement, and $1,175 for the adjusting the sprinkler heads, in this area of the property, for a total of $7,125. So I just want to make that clear that that's, I guess, one of the reasons that we're kindly asking that you grant the variance of 2.1 feet for the parking area due to its proximity to the front lot line. So I say it's, it's really quite invisible from the street and also from Bedford Road. And I really, my own feeling is it really doesn't harm the community, but I'll let you discuss it here.
Could you repeat for us the circumstances as you understand it, which resulted in this miscalculation?
Well, again, maybe I should just, can you see this on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. The original parking area, or the original paved area, is this dark line here. And then I guess it was probably in the around 2020 or so, this gravel parking area was constructed here, which included this hatched area, which was constructed in this location. And that was non-compliant with the code because the corner of the parking area is too close to the front lot line. It is supposed to be 25 feet from the front lot line. So the proposal was to remove approximately 300 square feet of existing parking court and reestablish the corner of the parking area at a distance of 25 feet from the front lot line. So Mr. Salazar engaged a contractor to do this work. And unfortunately, when we had the as-built survey, we found that this parking area was not 25 feet from the front lot line. Instead, it was constructed at 22.9 feet from the front lot line, instead of 25 feet from the front lot line. And so, so we are requesting the board, if we would kindly grant this variance to permit it to remain here at 22.9 feet from the front lot line, knowing that it was supposed to have been constructed at 25 feet. Is
So
that-
was the contractor given instructions to use an existing survey to calculate the proper location? Or how was he instructed as to where the setback line should be observed?
Well, I know that the contractor had the plans in order to do it. I'm really not sure exactly how the contractor calculated the setback from the front lot line in order to make this error and end up being 2.1 feet too close to the front lot line.
Anyone have any questions about what they've heard or?
I still don't understand how it happened.
Yeah, no, it's not. You know, I think what Howard is describing is, so this initial installation took place. It became known that it was not compliant. You would have thought that extra care would have been given to correct it in the proper fashion.
So,
Yeah, I would agree. But unfortunately, an error was made in doing this. And it was not made to be fully compliant.
so I have a, hello, I'm Ever. Do you guys hear me?
Who is that?
The owner.
Salazar, he's the owner of the property.
Yes, we can hear you.
So what happened was, in the first time, I didn't know that I have to pull a permit for extending the parking, right? So and then they said they have to get done. So I don't know nothing about this. So for some reason, the contractor did the parking lot. When we came to do the survey, it's over 2 feet. I mean, to be honest, I can't tell you why that happened. The only reason I'm asking if we can leave it just because it's already done. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pay. That means we're just asking if it is possible. That means you guys take the decision to yes or not. Because I'm follow rules too. You know, I own my own company and I deal with the town of Newcastle too, because I file jobs and I do everything by code. But in this case, I don't know nothing about site. When it's done, and then I find that out that it was already done. So I just, in my position, I just trying to not say cause that something happened that I don't have the control. But like I say, I'm just trying to ask them and you guys decide yes or no, because what am I gonna say? You know what I mean? It's already done.
Have you given instructions to the contractor as to where the parking area should be pulled back to?
I give him the plans, to be honest. I didn't, like I said, I don't know what is the street, where it start to count, because I use Robert Johnson to do the survey and everything, but I don't know. I didn't know he was doing a right or wrong, to be honest, you know, because I'm a plumber, so I don't know nothing about
I
outside.
mean, when you look at it, it's very subtle, obviously. 2.1 feet towards the street when there's, vegetation, if you will, along the entire perimeter. I understand how exactly how that happened. I don't understand it either. But unfortunately, that's how the contractor constructed it.
I think he maybe made he maybe measured wrong for some reason.
What vehicles will be parked in the parking area?
And this is the other thing. The reason that I have the long curb is because I have a GMC 2500. So to me, to make the turn, sometimes I have to go back and forth, because I have a 2500. I have a Tahoe for my family, and I have an Acura, 3 cars.
But the most I have more difficult to maneuver is my GMC. It's a 2500 at Denali. You know, that's a big truck. So sometimes I have to go back and forth because I like to come up straight from the street, because if you come up and backwards, if I go too fast, you know, I don't want to have a problem. But that's another thing that
Right.
it will help me. But
Yeah.
I'm just
The house has a one-car garage. And so typically when I've been there, there've just been, I'll call it regular passenger vehicles. There's
Yeah.
one or two parked there.
Okay. Carrie, is there anyone to be heard on this matter?
There are no hands raised.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions by the board? Michael, you're okay?
All good.
Okay.
I can unshare if you like.
You're inclined to vote, yeah, okay. I make a motion to close public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the request. The request is for a variance of 2.1 feet. Tom, you're confident that that's the right number?
We have a survey, yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah. The applicant has pointed out that there is a wall on Bedford Road. There is adequate vegetation on Kathleen, both of which serve to screen the parking area. The applicant has tried to bring the parking area into compliance. He has failed in the sense that he does require this variance. He has come forward and demonstrated that to correct the miscalculation would cost on the order of $7,100. We have no neighbors that are speaking in opposition to the application.
We're gonna puddling. We're gonna endeavor to try to fix that.
Do we want to bring that up separately or?
The issue with the puddling, at the last meeting, Mr. Pilch and Mr. Salazar, they offered to look into potentially remediating any issues with puddling. Again, that's a separate issue from the zoning board, but for the record, if you want to get that on the record, and I'm sure the town really appreciates that, that offer, provided that you're still willing to look into ways to remediate the puddling, but that's again separate and apart from the zoning board variance tonight.
Is that still the case, Mr. Pilch?
I believe it is, that we still certainly be willing to work with the town to correct a drainage issue, which I think pre-exists any of the work that was done on this property.
Mrs. Salazar, you agree with that?
yes, and I'm gonna tell, but I wanted this to be on records, because from 2020 that I moved to this property, Susan, the customer, the neighbor next to me, she always trying to look for things to me. So if I move to this town, it's because I want to live in peace. I have a family. So she always look for something to point. And to me, it's not fair, because just because I'm a Spanish people and I'm the only one in this block, that doesn't mean I have to betray. To me, I feel like it's racist, all right? Why I say that? Because it's always in my shoulders, and you don't have to know my business, but what I'm saying is, I'm agree to fix whatever we have to fix with the street, just to let you know. That street is, the 117 is lower. Even if we put the catch base, I already talked to Alan. It's gonna take some of the water from the street, but it's not gonna take all of it because the 117 is lower of the catch space. It's
I'll
gonna
just-
help.
I'll just say, presently what happens is the drainage is in a ditch on the same side of the street, called the north side of the street, as Kathleen Lane, but it reaches I'll call it the southeast corner of Mr. Salazar's property. It enters a 10-inch diameter corrugated polyethylene drain pipe, goes into the catch basin, which is along his frontage. And that catch basin, unfortunately, is often a grassy area. You know, normally you would think a catch basin that collects runoff from the street would be within the pavement area or at the very edge of the pavement area. It is not in this case.
Correct.
So I think that's one of the reasons that this occurs here.
Exactly. That's why I want to point it out, because even if my neighbors start to say that it's my problem, that I create this situation of the water, I plant 160 trees. I talked to town department, and it's a lot of trees that we plant. The trees absorb the water instead of disturb water. That you guys agree with me or not? So how the trees is gonna let water out? And I'm okay to fix it and get it the most we can with Alan, because otherwise I'm gonna have to spend money either taking the pad or doing the street that is not my own, but it's okay to live in peace. I want to live in peace. Or just to make sure if the water is not going, because it's a little water, it's gonna paddle. It's not my problem because the catch space is gonna take some, but not all of it.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
We agree. Thank you.
I'm sorry, on this point, George.
Yes.
Do I want to point out that
Yeah, just
Susan
for the
Meany,
record, yeah, because there was no one that spoke out in opposition tonight, but there
Tonight.
was.
but
at the
Susan
last
Meany
meeting.
has previously,
Yes,
voiced her concern.
just for
Okay.
the record.
Just continuing, there will be no undesirable change produced in the character of the neighborhood. The benefit cannot be sought through other means. The variance is not substantial. There will be no adverse impact on the physical environment. The alleged difficulty is self-created. We have a survey required. For these reasons, I think we should approve.
Second,
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Thank you. You have your variance.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your assistance here. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm just gonna get the next applicant because they're here in person.
Have to go ahead and Karen, so we can come back.
We have the survey showing.
What would you do? Keep the same, or you think it'll be-
Somebody surveyor, it does. Yeah, well, we'll monitor the work that happens in the town.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
From the town, I don't know if it's today. But that's separate from what's real.
Next case is Nick, 60 Algonquin Drive.
Okay, good evening, Robert Sherwood, landscape architect representing Joe Nix, who's also here. And his family recently purchased in the fall of 2022, just last fall, purchased 60 Algonquin Drive. Contracted me to help him get a cool environment into his rear yard. And as we started to unfold the layers of complexity of trying to get a pool approved, we have recognized that as the house sits now, we are over on coverage by about 325 square feet, development coverage. We are adding a modest pool that's associated with an existing terrace in the rear yard of about 815 square feet. So that puts us over the 1,100 square feet on the development coverage. On the overall site plan here, aerial map, there's an existing terrace and the pool will be associated on this part of the property adjacent to it. what happened on the property prior to my client owning it. As you can see, this kind of circuitous S driveway, it was much narrower here. There wasn't really anywhere to park. And the distance between the retaining wall and the garage is only 29 feet. So if you had guests coming in to sweep around, and then you constantly would probably always have to do like a 5-point turn to get out of here. So understanding that, more than likely, they've widened this driveway. I've been there numerous times. What I usually do is park and actually back out and leave instead of trying to turn around. So I think that was part of the development coverage that expanded, and I know that for a fact because I looked at some of the old plans. And then
I'm sorry, this was under the previous owner?
previous owners,
Okay,
yeah, I'm
yes,
trying to
I'm
give you a
sorry.
little bit of the
Okay,
history
yeah,
and why.
Right, okay.
And then there's an existing large deck on the back of the house, and then someone at one point built a small terrace with an outdoor fireplace, and it's pretty lovely and nice outdoor grill as well. And that kind of those things have pushed this housing envelope. Surprisingly, it does sit close to the yard or to the front yard setback and everything else, but we are over on that. So the next plan I was gonna just kind of show you guys is how we're trying to achieve the pool to be built, give you a little bit better image of what's going on in the yard as well.
I'm sorry, was it 300 square feet of development coverage that you were over, not you personally, but that the property was over before?
Yes, once we got the updated survey, the new survey in the fall, we ran all the numbers, we are sitting now at 325 square feet over the development
And
coverage.
was that a previous approval or was
No.
unknown
So
until this?
according,
I see.
in my talk with the town engineer, Bob Cioli, the driveway expansion was not ever approved, and then the terrace, and I believe we call out the terrace in our approval.
Okay,
That's kind of the two things that expanded to put the
got it.
project over.
Okay.
Sort of quick three-dimensional view of the pool. This is kind of depicting the existing terrace that exists. There is some topography grade change. This is a walkout basement on the left-hand side. So the pool would act as its own retaining wall. So we're really trying to keep it as small as possible. We're not adding a ton of terrace around this at all. We're utilizing the existing terrace and pushing this pool up close against it. This is another kind of the opposite angle. This would be the house. This would be the existing deck. And then with that, you can see this actual photograph of the site is actually kind of looking at the existing wall that runs right in through here. And this would be where the pool is going to be built.
Where does the pool equipment go?
The pool equipment's gonna come down. I believe we're gonna put it underneath the deck where there's existing terrace. Well, it's not a terrace, but there's existing down there. This is a kind of a view from the existing terrace looking straight back towards the back of the property. And that, again, this fence line, the pool would be sitting right up against this terrace over here. And this was more for the planning board to show them there's a drainage swale that runs down the side. This is the overall kind of a rendered site plan, kind of, again, showing some of the landscaping to increase that buffer between the two properties so we're not negatively impacting anyone. And again, that existing terrace in here, and we're trying to push that up as close as we can to it. And this diagram here is just showing the different coverages and where it's coming up.
In looking at adding this 800 square feet for the pool, did you look at the rest of the property in totality to see if there was something else that could be done to either mitigate that 800 or somehow just, detract or delete from the overage?
We have, and I discussed it with the homeowner. What's the best? Another best plan to kind of mark up. As we come around this, the garage doors end here, and they built a pad over here, which is in paver, so you can clearly tell it wasn't original. And so that is like this space in here, it's all unilock pavers. The rest of the driveway is like a nice beautiful pea gravel. So that area to me would be an easy deletion. And that would be about 310 square feet that we could remove pretty easily. And then the other option would be an easy option. There's again, that paver, same pavers acts as a walkway that comes up, and then here's like the front door and walk. So we could eliminate this. There's no real reason to walk around. People can park now in the front and just walk through the pea gravel. And that would add about another 150 square feet of removal. So I could get that 457 or 460 square feet.
Grass surface that would be?
Yeah, we return it back to landscape and grass.
So if you were to do that, what would be the variance required then?
So if we,
You would have to.
thought I had it written down on a plan, to be honest with you. If we were to do that, it would be, so right now it's highlighted in black, the areas I would remove out. And so that would bring us in total over about 683 square feet.
I'm sorry, 6,
83
okay,
to be exact.
okay.
And I'm thinking that's probably about 6% over.
Okay.
Rather than 10 point something, 11% over.
Sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah, that would be more than acceptable to the client.
Is Michael still on? Oh, yes, okay, no, that's okay. Any other questions by the board?
No.
I'm just trying to get the numbers right.
Sure.
So you're proposing 11,793, and with your reductions, it brings it down to 683, is that what you're saying?
No, the 1140 is reduced. The 1140 would be reduced.
Comes, now it's reduced to 683.
Is it really? No.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying,
Oh,
because
Okay.
the pavers,
Yeah, the pavers are 307
310.
square feet and then 150 square feet. So I'm removing 457 square feet off of,
Yeah. Okay.
And what is your maximum development that you have listed?
10,653.
That is the maximum allowed in the district, 10,653. What is your proposed maximum development?
Sorry. 11,336.
But if you take off what you propose to eliminate, that brings it way down. You're looking, the way you proposed it originally is 11,030, what was it now? 11,793? And you're gonna take off,
450. No, we're taking 457 off.
okay, and what does that come to? My brain is not working right now.
And I'm checking my math real quick, sir.
1130.
457 we take?
Yeah,
11336.
all right, I was right. 11, yeah, thank you. You guys all had me nervous there for a minute. I'm pretty sure I ran those numbers right. So we're looking to have 11,336 square feet developed.
11,336.
Yeah.
Where 10,653 is allowed.
Yes, sir.
All right, now we got it.
where is the closest neighbor to this property?
I think the best view is. What's the neighbor? Up the hill, what's his number?
His name?
Algonquin.
His name?
No, we don't, we just,
As we come up,
Interested in
this is
how
what
it
we're,
looks.
we come up, we're
It's kind
first
of
on the
like
right.
situated, it's kind of like on a slant, so you really actually don't see them. And on the actual left-hand side of my house, it's kind of like some empty space. It looks like it's kind of like I don't know if you guys have been on Algonquin Street, it's kind of like a weird looking street, so on the left hand side, I really don't have anybody. On a down slope,
Would have been that weird before the house there, right?
I didn't buy the boss bought it, you know. It was very simple, you know. Follow the boss and you'll be fine.
Just live there.
As you come up Algonquin, there is open space that belongs to the whole community. Obviously, this is 60 Algonquin. We have the neighbor looking at the house directly to the left. That would be the closest neighbor. His or her pool configuration is kind of the same thing on the left-hand side. And kind of looking with a real photograph towards that direction. They planted a heavy buffer at one point when these houses were built. You can't even really see the house, but we would be adding to that in a smaller scale to kind of, in case they die out, you know, some trees or the evergreens that kind of die out at the bottom, we're gonna replant.
Carrie, is there anyone to be heard on this matter?
No one did their hand raised.
Thank you. Any other comments, board? I move we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina,
Aye.
Howard Dubs.
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion at the application of Joseph Knight for construction of a swimming pool, which is gonna create the need for a development coverage variance. Where 10,653 square feet are allowed, and they want to increase the coverage to come to a total of 11,336 square feet. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve that application for the following reasons. The additional coverage on this property is problematic because of the configuration of the driveway. It's because of the way it comes off the road and wraps around the house, and that is what I would consider to be unnecessary coverage in the usual sense. The applicant has agreed to remove some walkways and patio, which has reduced their request from initially totaling 11,793 back down to 11,336. Granting the variance will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There is really no other way to achieve the desired end but to grant this variance. In this particular instance, I don't think the variance is substantial, because the property was a little over when the applicant purchased the house, and their additional to it is not a substantial amount. It's not going to affect the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. This is a self-created hardship in the true sense of the word, but the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood. And if you can start within 6 months and finish within a year and give us a final survey. Oh, one other question before I finish. The swimming pool is going to be constructed, what, gunite or plant or?
Yeah, no gunite pool.
It'll be gunite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so whenever we do a gunite pool, I like to request a survey before the gunite is shot, after the rebar is in. Because we've had instances where somebody makes mistakes and it's a lot easier to move the rebar than to move gunite after it's set up. So we would want a survey before the gunite is shot, and then we want a final survey after completion.
And just for the record, I don't know, Tony, if you mentioned it, the variance now is for 683 square feet, if my math is correct, right? Bringing
Okay.
total proposed to 11,336.
You're right, 11,336. Yeah, I wrote down the 683, I didn't say it, so
Okay.
thank you, put it in.
Math is correct on that?
That was my math, so
Okay.
I'm good.
That's my math too. Alright.
Winner.
I second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina.
Aye.
Howard Dubs.
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye. Thank you, have your variance.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Take care. See you soon.
Guess what? She's gonna let me inside tonight. God bless you guys, I appreciate it.
Oh, no, is that yours?
Lost more than one.
Next is Gottstruck, 27 Gary Drive.
Hi, good evening. I'm Louis Fusco, landscape architect for Ernest Gottschalk, who is also on the call, as well as our architect Lisa Sadler and Paul Fusco from our office. If I may share the screen, I can give you a view of the project now. Okay, just to give you a quick overview, we're asking for a 12-foot variance from the side yard setback of 35 feet. We have received ERB approval. This blue line on the plan is our setback from wetlands or a brook in the front of the property, and we have an existing septic in the front of the property as well. We've also been to ARB and have received favorable acceptance and approval from the Architectural Review Board. Basically, because of the constraints of both our septic and the wetland setback, the client is proposing there's an existing 2-car garage that's located here, and he's proposing a 3-car garage with the entrances coming in here, as well as a workshop addition to the garage, which is pushing, this is our 35-foot setback right in here, and it's pushing us 12 feet into the setback area. We've looked at some other alternatives, but because unfortunately of the septic and the setbacks and existing trees, the front of the property slopes down to the brook. The rear slopes pretty aggressively in this area. These are existing retaining walls that are saving some pretty impressive existing trees that I can show you in some photos in the back in this corner here. So there was limitation of how much we could extend into the backyard, and which would cause parking and entering and exiting into this area, which would be damaging additional roots to trees. We're proposing a full planting plan, adding additional 11 pretty mature evergreens, native arborvitae, and Juniperus virginiana, in addition to the existing evergreen screening that is in this location. The house is set, as you can see, pretty far back from Gary Drive to begin with. We're also adding, taking away a lot of invasive species that are in the wetland buffer areas here and replanting this with natives as well. Just to give you some idea of the architectural of this, the plan here is the garage with an entrances in here and here, storage and work area. This is the existing garage. The existing house is here. The new addition is all a 1-story addition set back into this area here. These are a close-up of the front, side views, and rear views of the house. And we have some photos. I mean, this is from the street, actually. It's pretty hidden by plantings. The one closest neighbor, I think I do have another photo that might give it a little bit better. And you see this photo now of this is the closest neighbor in the area back in here. You can see their garages. So it's the garage side of the house. This is that hilled area. Pretty impressive.
No, we're not seeing that. We still have the screen, the ABCD screen up.
Give me one sec. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the existing retaining walls and the slope of the rear. Very impressive. One of the largest dawn redwoods that I've seen lately in the back that we're trying to work around and save. And the existing screening buffer that falls between the closest neighbor, and it's the garage side of their house that is facing the new addition, which is just off the photo here. Let's go back to the. So these other photos are showing, yeah, you could sort of see that garage there. The new garage sort of pops in back in this area here and onto the driveway there. These are shots of the rear of the property and the existing garage in this location here. So we feel that that the request is modest in size. It's a 12-foot setback, that the impact to the environment, to the neighborhood is minor in this case. We're screening whatever view can be seen from either the road or the neighbor. While we do feel it is self-created, like most variances, we feel it is not having any adverse problems to the neighborhood. It's in the character of the neighborhood. The house was complemented in the presentation to the ARB with regard to the quality of the architecture fitting in. It's not out of scale for the neighborhood. And for these reasons, and for the restrictions on the site with the septic and the wetlands, we're asking for this variance. And we're here to answer any questions on it.
No, it's pretty straightforward to me.
Carrie, anyone to be heard on this matter?
No one's been attending.
Michael, Howard, Ron, any?
I would just say, I think that the horticultural work that they're doing in the property, taking out the invasive species, et cetera, is admirable.
Thank you.
I move that we close public hearing.
I'll second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye. I'll make a motion. I move that the Gottschalk application for a 12-foot side yard variance for the expansion of a garage and the addition of storage and a workshop be approved for the following reasons. The applicant has appeared before the ARB and received approval, has developed an extensive landscaping plan to improve the screening of the property. There will be no undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. The benefit cannot be sought through other means due to particularly the septic system. The requested variance is not substantial. There'll be no adverse impact on the physical environment, though the alleged difficulty is self-created. You will have 6 months to start, 1 year to complete. We'll need a foundation survey prior to framing. There were no neighbors that spoke in opposition to this application.
I'll second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye. Thank you. You have your variance.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck. I make a motion that the board adopt the January 25th, 2023 meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Chairman Ken Cooper,
Aye.
Tony Giardina,
Aye.
Howard Dubs,
Aye.
Mike Nolan,
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.